But well isn't good enough
Hmm.
in my eyes. So there's definitely some things we can improve on, and I'm sure that is literally every team's scenario right now. So um,
Right, right, right.
yeah. So right now we're sitting here, we're staring at the power rankings that we all came up with. A couple shifts here and there. For the most part, I'm not very surprised. I think the only surprising thing was that Lulio wasn't 10th. So everything else I
Yeah.
could have seen coming, though. So um, yeah, I guess we'll just kind of quickly go through. What's the deal with Innsbruck Day High? I don't know how to say that.
I mean, listen, they got some decent forwards. We played them earlier this week, and they had a good forward line out with Banana, Rodent Lush, and Igor. They were pretty solid up front. Just the defense was not great. I don't think their team has any defense. Um, and yeah, I feel like that's why they're ranked 10th here.
Yeah, I mean, so if you just kind of look, I threw it up there on the screen. They're ninth for goals for. Um, what
Oh,
else?
that's surprising. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, they had a good core out there though against
yeah,
me.
they're ninth for goals for.
Hmm.
Eighth for goals against. Uh, they had the worst penalty kill. Um, so yeah, just I mean I think they performed statistically kind of where they end up. But yeah, no, they do have some good forwards. I think they almost have a line. They got Roden Lush. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah,
Um,
solid.
yeah, he played solid for them. But outside of him, Banana, uh, and I guess Igor, I guess he played pretty well in the 3 games he played. There's really nothing here.
Yeah. No, I
uh,
know. So
they
it
traded
makes
Tree
sense why they're
Barts,
10th.
Tree Beats. So he was kind of like their leading D guy, and they got back. Who did they fucking get? Uh, some D man. Oh, it was Millsy. And how did
Hmm.
Millsy do? Let's see. Millsy, 3 games played.
I I heard a lot of hype around Millsy before the draft. Is it true? Like, is he actually good? Solid?
Supposed to be solid. But
Well,
I
I
mean, he
heard
just
some things. I heard
yeah.
some rumblings that he was, oh, I think it was Johnny that listed him as like a top 10 player or something like that. But then again, it's Johnny, right? So,
Yeah, well, I mean, he's played in CNC. His Chell stats are really good. But he's only played 3 games. It's really hard to judge somebody from that. Hit 3 points, -5. I mean, everybody on this team is a -5 at least, though. So it is what it is.
yeah.
But yeah, so that is that team. What else we got here? Uh, so Grizzlies, Wolfsburg. We were just on that team. Also not doing great. Doing a little worse than I thought, but just a little bit. I didn't really expect much from them either.
Hmm.
But
Can
they
you can you pull up their like if, while we're talking about can you pull up their stats, like their team stats?
yeah, definitely. So team stats. So goals for is third in the league.
Hmm.
So that's actually a bright spot. Shots on goal, they're second in the league. Power play, it says they're first, 50%. So I mean
Wow.
they're actually scoring more than I actually thought, so that's good. Goals against, they're eighth. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the story
Wait, and
there.
there's only 10 teams, right? So,
Yeah. So the eighth is second worst.
gotcha. Well, I'm surprised their power play is pretty good. I mean, who do they got on forward there? If
Yeah,
you head over to
so
player
Rockstar, I
stats.
don't know who this guy is, but he's lights
Dude,
out.
yeah. I don't know who he is either. Never heard of him.
16
But
goals. I think he's tied with Dorito in goals. Uh, yeah, like he just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, he's looking like a real deal top center. So, really,
that's
seemingly
impressive.
really good
Yeah.
pick from Dre.
What
I'll let
round
you
was
know
he?
after tomorrow.
Hello?
Hello.
Is that Tree?
Tree. So many different kind of trees. What do I call myself? I'm all tree.
Yeah, so we're just kind of going through the power rankings. You missed Innsbruck. I guess you could give us some more insight on Innsbruck since you just came in and you were just on that team. What's the deal with them?
My short perspective, I mean, the on paper is kind of mostly obvious what we see, but what I've seen playing there is, um, they they have not real great depth, and I think that the stars that they do have, the Nanas, the way Igor plays, I think they like Lushin a little bit. I forget what his name is. That
Rodent
center
Lush?
center
Rodent
left thing.
Lush.
Roden Lush.
Mm-hmm.
These are Bananas definitely obviously the star, but even their forwards, I think that they're very forward play puck heavy. So it's a lot of playing in the center. So they're going to score a lot of goals. But whether you could put it on me for last week or Elu or whoever you want. But I think that when you lose it high slot constantly, even if you're making great takes, sometimes you're going to have a lot of rushes against, and it's going to be hard to score against. And my perspective on the depth play was I carried a lot. You saw my time in attack. I pushed the play. They
Yeah,
no one really
I can
came at me that
actually I can
conversation, but
actually vouch for what Tree is saying. I played against him, and he was starting up the play a lot, zone entries, um, which is huge as a defenseman, right? So
yeah.
Tree did the best he could, and
Yeah, I think and I'm new. I'm going to make my mistakes personally, and I was part of that team for the power ranking on what's going on, or the way they played last week, and I was a huge part of the play. Maybe they'd come back and say, yeah, he's a puck hog, but they gave me the puck a lot, right? And then not Wednesday though. The banana, those guys were very forward. I'm not saying they didn't give up the puck, and I personally was off, but I just think it's star heavy forward wise, but
Mhm.
it's all force and center stuff, and then I think it's just not a lot of depth, but their ceiling is a little bit better than we'd give it to them, but their depth is about where we say, or maybe even worse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just seems like it's goals against. Like that's like the main thing with that team. I mean, you could tell like eventually they could probably get scoring just with some of the talent they have, but I think the immediate need is probably defense, and that's a lot of teams I would say in this league. So it
Yeah,
is
You
what it
can.
is.
100%.
I don't want to be Johnny here, not to cut you off, but they just trade away by far their best defenseman in the Treehouse Corporation
Yeah.
prospect.
I think they're hoping that this Millsy guy is the real deal.
Yeah, who is Millsy? Do you know who Millsy is,
No,
Tree?
we don't know Millsy. I heard he's a threes guy. This was his first ever six league. I don't know if that's facts or sort of facts,
Yeah.
but that's the information I have on him. I didn't hear that he was loved, but there could be some shifts and nights you could say that I wasn't loved, no matter what the production looks like on paper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, we're talking about the team that you got traded to. So we went over actually a surprising stat. They're third for goals for. So third in the league for goals for. They have a really good power play. What do you think about this team, and are you excited to play with them?
Um, if we're being really honest, I'm excited to be on this team because I don't think there is a huge name superstar really. I think I'm going to be able to go there and communicate, and I think the guys are kind of going to be able to communicate back, and we'll see how it goes there. But I got an IRL there who's improved drastically. I can speak as much about it, but since he's an IRL, it's going to mean nothing until you really see it out there. I just think it's an opportunity for me to grow pretty well, but only in the way of me being vocal and me kind of taking a pretty big spot. I don't know how it's going to go in Cam, and I haven't played with him yet. I don't think there's a huge bunch of big names here, but I mean, like you said, surprising numbers so far. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think I'm.
so like on D, I guess who you'd be playing with. You got Dre, Bishop. Um, I
I think.
guess
I think. I
there's
think
another
it's
one.
what we
Who's
just
the
got
third
off of.
one?
I think they kind of got a defensive problem. I
Yeah,
think I have to see my role, and maybe I can really help. Um, if
yeah,
I find the right fit, if I play the right role. But I am only one guy, and it is my first season, and
for
I
sure.
think that we need more defensive members.
Well, I would
Yeah.
say they clearly do have star power because Rockstar is like second in the league in scoring. I think he's got like
Yeah,
16 goals. So
I think he's tied first for goals.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think they have a
So
crazy. I might be thinking of someone else. I'm pretty sure they have a crazy power play percentage too. I think
yeah,
like
that's
top
number
three.
one, 50%.
Yeah.
So no, these guys can score. It just seems like D. So I mean, I think they're gonna need like Tree to
I
come
also
in and
I heard very loud rumblings of their goaltending, and now they have put Grider into their installments, and I think that's huge. But we know Grider pretty well, and I will say he started off very well this season.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know they had Grider. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, he came with me.
Because I mean, dude, literally both of their goalies have a 74%
So
save percentage.
maybe you guys will come back to this, but they the Grizzlies received Treebark and Grider for Cumshot and Miller. So if Miller's not a big hit, I think they just push themselves off the cliff with that.
Well, Grider is the better goalie in that trade for sure. So
exactly, like I think I
yeah, Millsy's an
we'll come back to
unknown.
this or
Cumshot
not.
is nothing. I think the Grizzlies probably won the trade, but it just sounded like Innsbruck needed to change anyway. So we'll see how it works
we
out.
got guys in the media booth who are they're holding their opinion before they give me something strong on Tree's great. I understand, that's cool. I've heard some kind words as well. We know Grider's great though. So we're waiting on the Tree aspect and Millsy to play out a little bit.
All right. Well, I guess we will move on to the next team. Lulia, I think is how you're supposed to say it. They're a little bit of a surprise. They start off strong, but as we knew, I mean, they didn't have a lot of depth outside of maybe Johnny and a couple people. So quickly go ahead and pull their team stats up. What do you guys think of this team?
The first thing that stands out to me, and I'll just go quick, so I probably have a couple points. Oh my God, the Lord Damned. He looks like a real player. I played against him, and with I would call Innsbruck's second line. And to me, I was like, boys, don't sleep. Like, we have a competitive game. In the lineups that I looked at were involved, Lord Damned looked good. I don't know if I'm gonna say he looked like 7 overall, but I would have picked him like in usual drafts, 3rd round, 4th round. Thinking about the D depth, maybe that was a little late in the 4th round, but he looks like one of the top 5, 6 D men if there's 5 good ones here on the right D. Sorry, specifically right D.
Yeah, I mean he's always been better than what I've heard people talk about him as. Like he was always a big meme, always arguing with I forgot who the fuck it was, like Huzz or some shit. But he's definitely not as bad as. But the whole controversy was like picking him 2nd overall. Just that wasn't the right move. But hey,
Yeah,
I mean, if he can play like a number 1 D man, then I guess they don't really care anyway. So
I think he's a proper top half first line right D. Like, in a top 5 team, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he plays a fine role as a first right D.
yeah, I mean, I am not a fan of this team. I don't see anything that stands out to me other than I guess maybe Damned for defense and then Tank for offense. That's really about it. And I don't know, man. Tank has it rough. So does Damned. So
hey, Johnny though. Got 12
I don't
goals,
know who
6
Johnny
games.
is. Who's Johnny?
3.5 points per game.
Johnny's what, top 6 in points. So
I mean, he's
more
playing
exciting
well
for
as much as.
when we saw it coming.
I will say, so I played against Lolia, I think, the first night, and their defense is all right. Like, damn, that definitely helps their defense out. But
Yeah. Outside of like Damned and maybe Bus Driving, I'm not a fan of that decor at all. I mean, I think their overall team stats, they're 3.6 goals a game. That's 7th. So offense ain't great, and then they're 4th in goals allowed. So I mean, their D is definitely, honestly, kind of carrying them. I think, to one of the 2nd worst spots in the league. But yeah,
well,
I mean,
but but look at their goalie. They ready to rumble. He's
yeah,
a
no,
fucking
and
stud. So
and that's
I probably had my most opportunities for one-time passes and just lanes to skate and go score. And Reddy's the reason they beat us. He stopped 4 to 6 of just me prime chances in the game we played, and then their team played a little bit better defensively and slowed us down a little bit. We only got maybe a couple more chances. Reddy won the game in the first half against us personally on the first night there that we played him.
Yeah, no, definitely he's one of the best goalies in the league. I think he was the 2nd best, I think, from what I've seen. So yeah, really good job by him. But yeah, I mean, honestly, on offense, Johnny's the only one producing. Everyone else has been pretty shit. So I think that needs to
Yeah.
change for them
The,
to
the,
raise
it's, the
in
good news
standings.
was they surprised us, but that's the bad news. Because it's, what, 3-6, and we're looking at a
Right.
couple good
Well,
points.
you know what? And
Yeah.
imagine if Johnny didn't work out. I mean, this would be the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd
I
be where
will
they're
say
at.
that Johnny is definitely taking. I think it's kind of good for him. He's taking a leadership role there offensively, probably in the locker room a little bit. I think he looks. I don't want to tell him he's great because I will never hear the end of it from him or anyone else. But I think he is on the rise a little bit.
Yeah. He's playing better. That's good. So let's move on to the next. The next team on the power rankings. So after Lulia, we got Geneva on here. So much lower than we were expecting, I think. I think I was expecting them to be like between 4 and 5 in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I had in preseason, but yeah, no, they're 7th, and I think rightfully so. Basically, like, what is the deal with this team?
So the deal with this team right off the bat is their goal scoring. They just don't have any goal scoring at all. They're last in goals per game, I guess.
Yeah, they're
And
10th.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, if you
last.
can't put the puck in the net, then that is the issue. You're not going to go
Yeah.
very far. So
Yeah, goals against isn't great either. They're towards the bottom
I'm
half.
surprised. I liked the way they built their team at first. I liked a lot of different parts. Anyways, I'm not saying I loved every part, but there was a lot of different parts I noticed I liked, and I thought that was big from the draft.
Yeah, no, me too. I mean, if you look, like Ruzicka is leading in
Yeah.
scoring, and
Yeah.
he's gone. I don't know who this icy puck is. Who is that?
I think he's been
Did he
lingering
change his
around
name?
a little bit, but I don't know him too well.
Okay, but he's actually played really well, almost 4 points a
Yeah.
game. But 3 games, right? So the guys who are playing a lot, let's look at how they're doing. Whacked out, 1.2 points per game. That is
Rough.
unacceptable.
Yeah, that's not good
from
for us,
any
especially
forward.
yeah.
That is really bad. The Duck, 0.8 points per game. That is one of the worst I've ever seen in any league. So, I mean, the guys who built this team are not producing. So
Yeah, they're not leading this week.
Immediately, I think if they were playing normally, they would probably be where they should be.
Yeah.
Really, literally 3 guys, 3 points per game. One of them was traded. Everyone else 1 point per game or lower. Like, what the hell is going on here?
And I think that Whacked and Duck's gonna pick it up a little bit, so we'll get better. But they also lost their top scorer.
Yeah.
I don't think they're producing a lot of offense from the back end, right? I don't know.
Well, we faced
But I don't know
them.
that they're having great breakouts or great.
Yeah, we faced them, and honestly, I was clamping the fuck out of them. Like, I took the puck from Duck 20 times. Like, they couldn't get anything going. They got like a goal really late in the game. Like, they had no offense. It was really boring. So whatever they're doing, they just need to completely change it up because it's not working. So, all right, well, let's move on to
That on paper perspective, and then the happenings after.
Yeah, let's move on to the next team. So we got Lati here. I'm in 6th. They're a little surprising. A lot of people thought they were going to be. A lot of people thought they were going to be like a top 5 team. I didn't think that because they only had a couple forwards. But
yeah, they don't have that star defenseman.
Huh?
They don't have like that top D man.
Oh yeah.
To really drive the offense.
Yeah, we're on Laddie. Yeah.
All right. Pause. I had to catch up. We're good.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So,
I mean, their offense though is not like they have Gallagher and Rings, and that's just enough for a pretty solid top line.
They have like one nasty, like maybe 80%, if not 100%, a nasty line. I think they have, like you said, Rings, Dangler, Gallagher, at least one pretty damn good defenseman there in that group. I saw a lineup and I was like, that's almost scary a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have it up on
my
me
team
right now.
got pumped by them, and I was out there.
Yeah.
My team got pumped.
What are they losing by 7-0? And you were out there?
It wasn't just nothing.
Say,
it was like it was like 7-4. I think I forgot what the score was.
No, I was talking too fast. I was just making an example. Because they're inconsistent. They're kind of losing. As the example I was saying, they're losing by a lot, but they're also winning by a lot some games. So they're hard to read right now.
Yeah.
I think I've seen
Gallagher. He's been really good. He's like a top Like he's over 4 points a game. He scores a shit ton. He's really good with the 1Ts. I think a lot of people are going to have to adapt to this style of game and defense, and the forwards are really going to be held accountable to block high slot 1Ts because they go in so much and so easily.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I really noticed from that line is they're really good at finding those guys for the high slot 1Ts.
What do you think of their depth, whether
Their
a little bit on ice or on paper?
their depth. Well, so I mean,
Yeah.
Dirty Dangler, Gallagher, Mersey. After that, you got Rings, right? That's four really good forwards. I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with their D, like Stotler. I don't know about him. Big League Machu. I don't know about him. Booty. I don't know who that is. Reddy,
Machu
not
will call
good.
him a first line lefty, I believe, for what we have. 10 teams. Is he top 10
Really?
on lefty? Absolutely. Machu, I think so, yeah. Dots, I just imagine. Hope he's not line two worthy. Haven't seen too much of him. He was here earlier in the leagues.
Yeah, I think clearly it's just their defensemen. I don't like any other D like at all.
Their goaltending, I mean, it's a little shaky. I guess that last first week that we just
Yeah,
had.
well, it looks like they had to get some people subbed in. Like Mersey played a couple games in that.
Yeah, I see
Oh,
that.
that's right. And I did play them, but I didn't play Gallagher in them. Mersey was net. I don't feel like it's a proper fair review, you know?
Yeah, well, the thing is Form Uprising's supposed to be their guy, and he had a 71% save percentage, so that's not good. And then Sosa was
That's
their
not
other
good.
guy, did just as
Form, I
bad.
think Form will be mostly fine. I have a disheartened experience with him where I think we just tied the game or one goal away from tying the game. We were down by 2, and then he pulled himself with a minute to go in an elimination game, and they scored like right away. So I got a minor bad taste from that, but you take that away, and he can perform like a Stroder. He just has to show up and do it. He never has that role. Has had that role here. I don't think consistently. He's been a great backup goalie so far. So it is an opportunity to make that jump, and maybe a rough start, but I have seen it in him.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, to me, it just comes down to the D. I don't think the goalies can really play
Yeah.
well with the D just sucking so bad. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe they'll get better goaltending, but I think they really need to fix their D. But yeah, other than that, dude, their top line is like a top 3 line in the league at least. I would say like really
Yeah,
really
a
good.
top legit line.
Yeah. All right. So let's pull the next team. That's Tapara Tampere, or however the fuck you're supposed to say it.
The Tampers.
Yeah, the Tamper Tamps. So yeah, am very unfamiliar with the management group who runs this team. So I don't really know what to think of them. Let me pull their lineup real fast. How do they do again? All right. So 7th in goals for, that's pretty bad. And then 7th in goals against.
I think they only have like 2 of those team points that are better than 5th place. I noticed.
Yeah, they just seem very mid, but I guess that's where we're at in the
Their
power
scores
rankings.
have been tough to read too because I think they beat some good teams by like a mile. But they're in that 500 just below 500 point. Um,
Yeah.
Brunzy, I think he's a LG. He definitely got drafted. He's won a Mem Cup. Broats is not as offensive as I thought he was, to be honest. He won a Bobby Orr here, obviously a season without Hyper or some guys, but I didn't see him play. He had like 40 points, and like 12 of them were more than the rest of the defensemen, and he had 8 games that's played and none on forward. But I've seen him play now, and he's moved over to lefty, and I understand what it can be like moving to the other side. For me, I'm not good at it. So, but he passed me the rock a lot, and I didn't see him make a lot of plays. I don't know if that was off, being on the other side, or I just had no idea how not offensive he was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know him that well. I've never thought he was good though. I've looked at some of his LG stats. I think he was like a CHLer, and he's played a lot of seasons there.
CHL is just fine, San.
I guess. So, I mean, really, from what I'm looking at here, it's like yeah, Sway, and then really like nobody else.
I do remember. Okay, yeah, there is. Okay, so Jay Sway and then offense drops and it's showing.
Yeah, it's terrible outside of
And
him.
if you go to player stats,
Actually,
it looks like
I forgot about this
point.
Sebi guy or whatever. He's doing really well too, but he's only played a few
Who?
games. Aces Sebi.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of He's a no-namer, right? Or am I just gathering
I don't know him, but he's new. I'm pretty sure.
something?
Yeah, so he's played well in J, and then outside of them,
I don't
it's been pretty
know.
dead. They got
Yeah,
Torvechkin. He's supposed to be
yeah,
like a
I think
better
Tor's
D.
supposed to
I
be
do.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, outside of, I don't know Brunsey. Yeah, he's one of their managers. Their goaltending's been good. They got Kwanzi and Angry Tigers. Did he leave though? Angry Tigers, he's done.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, so he played one game and did well, and that was it. So yeah, I don't know. Pretty mid. They could swing either way. I think.
Hey, you know what? That management, they really struggled for offense last season, and it's kind of worrisome that they did go through the same strategy. The only difference I see is I think they have one of the best core four defensemen. They might not have the highest ceiling. It might not even be exactly the best depth, but you put the four together, and I think it's pretty close to the consistency or the lack of space between floor and ceiling. It might be them.
For sure. Well, let's move on. So number 4 in the league, we got Fariestad. Me and Hyper's old team. They're
Good old
doing just
Farmstead.
about as good as I thought. I knew they would be 4 or 5. And yeah, just the main thing that stands out is their D. Like their D's been really good. I haven't looked at their stats, but I could just tell by like when we played them, and um, I know that's just how their lineup's built. So defensive stats, goals allowed is 3rd. So that's about as good as you can ask for, I think. And then their goals for is 6th. It could be a little bit better. I think if they were able to score a bit more, they could be a really respectable team and a feared team by many teams. Their power play is bad though. 13%, not good. But everything else, pretty solid, I would say, with this team. I'll say this: Breezy Dangles actually impressed me a lot when I played against him. Um, I shut him down, but I could see how he would cook some people.
Yeah,
So
that that's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure he made some nice plays around me and all, but I was really impressed when I watched him when he was on Dynamo, Skates Dynamo. It was the other way around for me when I played against him, but I'm also experienced this for time, and I was like, oh my god, this guy can be locked up a little bit. Because I looked up to him like a lot, like I really like the patience and the spacing he could do when I watched him on Dynamo, but I love the pick. Just waiting to see if
yeah,
I think they're guys. They're going to be a team.
you're cutting out a lot, man. I think we lost Tree, but
All right, but yeah. So we're talking about who?
Fariestad.
Breezy.
Yeah,
I might have just cut
Breezy.
out. I just knew you guys again. My bad if something weird happened.
It's all good.
Go on.
But yeah, I don't really know much about Breezy. I only heard good things though, which is good. I have yet to play against him though, so
Yeah.
would look
Yeah,
forward to that.
the thing is that when you look at this lineup, no one's above 2.5 points per game. It looks like so. They just overall just I don't know. Maybe it's a chem thing, right? I could see how they would score
I
more,
think
but
that's definitely the management's goal and purpose is to not have high couple guys. They kind of want to all be close and make chem teams. I'm pretty sure that's legitimately the out loud goal.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I think they're missing like one stud forward that could kind of bring them over the edge. Because their D is going to be fine. They got Hazy and Grizz. Grizz has played really well this season. One of the better defenders in the league. Their goaltending's been okay. I don't know. Simmer played good. He's only played 3 games though. But then Kaiser not so good, and A Page has had to, put himself in the net.
Kaiser's looked, yeah. I played against the Page. Kaiser looked really good on. He's looking like a little bit, not quite, but just for one quick example, a little bit of a Luongo. Yeah, Luongo was pretty damn good everywhere, but he was much better on a bad Florida team than he was on the better Vancouver team, and that's what I'm seeing in Kaiser right now. He can produce when a lot's coming at him, but maybe when he has the opportunity to play for a competitive team, it's not showing right now, and it hasn't. I don't think it showed greatly last season either when he had a better opportunity.
Yeah, to me, especially with goalies, they've all only played 3 games. A Page shouldn't be playing that. Just seems like there's some
Yeah.
avail issues, so I'm not gonna critique them too hard on the goaltending. Obviously, they're only third in goals against, so if Simmer or Kaiser really start taking charge, I mean, then I think they could even be better than third in goals against in the league. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that team. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
That's it for me.
Bargy.
All right. And the next team is
Your team here.
Yeah, my team, Adler Mannheim. So yeah, I think people are wanting to put us second, but I said nah, we deserve third. Um, we have a good record. I think we're first or second. I think we're second in the league behind Red Bull. But there's just some things that we need to work on. Our goals for is fifth in the league, which I mean a lot of teams will like that, but not me. We could do a lot better than that. I think once we start getting that going, we'll do a lot
You got to
better.
teach him the 1-3-1.
I'm trying. Our goals against is first though, so outside of a couple games, yeah, we've been pretty rock solid. I think that's people were expecting us to be good defensively, and we are. So I'm happy with that. Shots against too were first, only 12 shots against a game. We're not easy to play against. So that's like my number one goal when I'm on a team is we need to be hard to play against. So yeah, I think overall we just need to get our offense clicking, and you know what, like there's a couple forwards that are actually really good, and I've played with them outside of league games that just haven't played yet. Scanzo, I actually like him a lot. He's a really good forward. And then Jay, which they don't show up on here because they didn't play any games. They're both pretty good players. So I think once they get in and we're able to kind of do the lineups set the way that we want, I think the offense will kind of even out between everybody.
What is your first line?
I don't know. I would imagine probably Casey's go Casey
PBJ and then
Klein.
Casey.
Pending, just to make it easier for you.
Probably PBJ.
I have a question for you, Sin.
Yeah.
I already know the deep pair. I feel like that's self-explanatory. But all this back and forth last season and prior seasons with you and IPBJ for Selke, this and that, who's the better defensive center. So from what you've saw by playing with him this season so far, what is your evaluation on him?
My evaluation, like, is he the real deal?
Is he the real deal? Is he the Selke we know and love?
Man, you're putting me in a spot because he's my teammate. But
I know I am.
Yeah. I don't personally. I mean, and I will say this: it's a pretty big difference going from 24 to 25. I think a lot of guys are trying to figure out how to play defense. I know I was when I first started, and I could tell that PBJ's having that same adjustment. I mean, his defensive stats I don't think have been amazing. I don't know. I haven't looked at him. Let me see. Where's he at for like takeaways and shit? Because I know he was a takeaway fiend in 24. We got 14. So personally, I don't think he's the Selkie king or anything like that. I haven't seen it. I've given him some tips, but he's not bad. I mean, he's definitely not bad, but I do think that maybe his stats were a little overblown on the defensive end. Hopefully they don't.
So
take
even
it.
if they were overblown, most people in this league would still, even if they are overblown, even if that's a fact in this league, most people.
You're cutting out, man.
Like saying that is because this is why I don't take it too personally.
Bro, you need to like find internet.
My evaluation.
Bro, you're just cutting out constantly.
I missed that. Let's say it again.
Of course you missed it, because your internet sucks. I was saying your internet sucks.
What?
Find internet.
No, it doesn't suck. It's the black fake hole. I think I'm moving to a house that's literally blacklisted. It's the same internet. It used to be perfect. Now I can't fucking stream visuals.
Okay, so
quickly
say what you're trying to say.
You're very finicky. I like the way you said I've refined my game so much. It's true. It's true, and it's how you evaluate. You go to the little details, and that's why I'll keep coming to you, and I'll keep telling you fuck off when you give me your. But yeah, it was just I just thought it was a good opportunity to say, listen to how he just talked to PBJ, even if his stats are a little overblown, and I'm not even saying they are, but if they were, he'd still be like top one in this league, right? So. And you just did not sound super positive. I'm not trying to exaggerate on it, but it was just a good opportunity to say I don't give a shit about Sin's ratings because listen, how we talked about one of the best centers, whether his stats were blown or not.
Y-
Moving forward.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
and I like PBJ. I think
yeah,
for him, because I think even if you asked him, he'd say he didn't have a week that he liked, right? Because I
yeah.
could
I
tell
think you were on
he
about
was
the
he was getting in his
stats.
head a little bit in some games. Like he's kind of going through it right now. So, um, but the thing is, we're 7-2, so we'll see. But I think what it comes down to is like he has to be that guy. I think for us to be like a Dynamo line, or you know what I mean, like, or a Red Bull line. Like he needs to kind of be that defensive stud. Like that's just kind of what we
Yeah,
need.
he needs to be your guys the guy for that, for you guys to be on that level.
Yeah, because we really like. I think offensively, I don't think we can't really go to them. We need to be like the best defensive team in the league, top to bottom. So I'm hoping we kind of, and it's a chem thing too. We'll kind of get it all together, and we've all played pretty damn well, I'd say. And we're still like not even completely clicking. So we'll see how it looks in a week. But
Mhm.
yeah, I guess our goalies
Week
have
one.
been good. Like Hude actually played pretty damn good, 86%. Titan, his stats don't look great, but he had a lot of weird goals going. I'm not gonna really put it against him. Um, so yeah, that's Adler. And now we're gonna go to, I think second is Dynamo, Hyper's team. So yeah, second in goals for, um, fourth in goals against. But let's be real here. We all know what happened when their top guys are playing. They're the best team in the league, and when they're not, they're one of the worst. So,
Yeah, well, so you said before I could ask it, I was gonna ask. So, do you think my evaluation of obviously, like you said, best team in the league when there are top guys out there, for some reason hate drafting depth?
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I didn't think that their depth was that badly drafted, but they're not playing that well. So, and Hyper
There's
would know
some
what's
names.
going on more, I guess.
Yeah,
If it's maybe people aren't showing up or what's going on, but um,
Yeah, Iverson didn't play this week, and then Celebrini only played 2. So, I mean, that's
that's right.
part of the reason.
yeah, okay. Well, that's a pretty big deal. So there
So
you go.
I'm a little bit early on my confirmation.
But either way, like their D is really good. They got Huz, Pistol, Hyper.
Yeah, that's true. If Huz is what, obviously they're second left D because he got hyper. Yeah, I'm a little bit off on my. I don't hate their entire depth. I just didn't think for the way, they're as management smart as they are skilled on the ice. So I just thought a couple of their picks would be a lot better in my favorable opinion.
Yeah, it's just so early, man. It's hard to, you know. But I'll say when Hyper and his line are playing, they're undefeated.
Yeah,
So
I think that they had they weren't. It was like I think that you guys had 4 of your top line, maybe 3, and I think that they weren't even sweating against us. And I mean, I was on Innsbruck, but we had the Nana and some guys, but yeah, it was an awkward game personally for me, and I don't even think they were going yet.
mm-hmm. So yeah, Dynamo still pretty damn good. And the number one team, Red Bull, munching these nuts.
Red
So
Bull bunch on these nuts.
so first in goals for and tied for first in goals against. So there you go.
Pretty good recipe. That's pretty much how
Yeah,
you do it. Eh?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
all it is.
Yeah,
That's all it
they're
is.
doing well everywhere.
They win hockey, baby.
Their special teams could be better, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, Dorito really carrying the offense. I still don't know who he is, but I guess he's good. Um, Vro, I mean, playing like old Vro, just scoring a shit ton of goals. So glad to see him back. It says he's playing D, but I think he split his game. So it's crazy. Like literally, like he played 3 games of forward and had like all of his points. So
Yeah, which it was quite a bit of points, right?
yeah, it was a lot of points. So
15 to be
yeah,
exact.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. Church of Pac, he's playing well. Solid center. Prestara has been like their MVP. Just been great on both ends of the ice. Very, very, very solid. So yeah, if he's playing like that, they're not gonna lose much ever. Dylan's only played
Only
three
in overtime
games.
though.
Yeah, you did beat him in overtime. No, yeah, definitely.
Only in overtime.
Yeah. But yeah, Dylan's only played 3 games and he's played well when he has played. So that's a pretty big thing to note.
Yeah, 100%.
So if they get him playing more, it's going to be scarier. But yeah, like their defensive depth. I mean, Jizzy Gaza, Vital Days, he's good.
Yeah, is Vital? Yeah, Vital's legit. All right, I wasn't sure
Yeah, I
about him.
seen him
He was
play
good.
against us, and I could tell he was good. Yeah,
Alright, so they
Prastar and then
probably.
Vro, I guess, is their D core, but I guess Vro plays
Oh,
forward
yeah.
too.
So another team with a potentially seriously top 4 guys. I don't know, actually 2 with Huz there on the back end. I forget who their second right D would be.
I think it's Vital and I guess Jizzy, right?
Yeah, Jizzy. Okay, yeah, Jizzy's really good. Well,
Yeah.
he's pretty good. He's good, anyways.
Yeah, they got a ton of depth. So that Cash Money guy is pretty good too. I've seen him play. I guess against us we beat him, but I could tell he was good. So yeah, just literally everybody on the team's good, so that's why they're number 1. Jay's been the best goalie in the league.
Really good, man. The number 1. All
Yeah,
right.
Jay's played
Yeah.
really good. He's back, I think.
Okay, I got a question. You guys can both both come to answer it. What's the best storyline so far? The triple Sin Tree, the double Sin Prastara, or is it Prastara Hyper? What's the best storyline?
What are you
Week
talking
1,
about?
teams early. We know we're exaggerated. We're just talking storylines.
Are you talking about like just comparing demon?
Just story. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's what the
I
lights
don't
are
know,
on.
man. It's so early. It's hard to say.
It's way too early. That's why it's fun so far. We'll get a little more
Yeah.
serious as it goes on when we can.
Yeah, well, the way it's looking right now, it looks like it's just gonna be Prastara Hyper.
It does look like that. It's really
Finally, a challenge.
Yeah.
1-0 versus Prastar, though.
Yeah, we'll see. In the first night I played, they let me play offense, and the second night, like they didn't let me. I never got to touch the puck, so that's gonna have to change. 1-3-1 baby next week, all 6 games. But yeah, yeah, we'll see. I got a lot of takeaways.
I think I won't have as many as anyone in any set.
So let's see here. Let's go back to the slide. The next thingy here, if I could pull it up, is the team of the week. I think this is something new for this league. I don't think we've ever done team of the week here. So this is the inaugural team of the week. So essentially, the way this is gonna go, we're gonna get 2 lines. You guys know how it works. Like, you guys are hockey fans, right? So basically, there's gonna be 2 lines: the first team and the second team, and we look at a bunch of things. Goals, assists, WAR, defensive stats as well. So first team of the week, we got Gallagher on left wing, Rockstar center, Dorito right wing, Hyper D, Prastara D, and Silent J. So no surprise on any of those picks, I think.
Real quick before we move on, is each one of those players from a different team?
Other than Prastara and
half
Jay
the team is
and
Red
Dorito,
Bull.
So no.
Oh shoot! Oh Dorito, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Not.
It's kind of hard to see the teams
I wasn't
there.
sure about Silent, and then Dorito keeps throwing me off.
I do want to say though that shout out to Frankie for this graphic. This graphic is nuts. So
yeah, I didn't
would be nice
expect
to
him
get
to
some
put the
player
stats
photos,
on
but
the graph. I was just gonna post those later.
yeah,
so,
no, this is nice though.
Yeah,
Beautiful
I
job.
like it a lot. And honestly, guys, like, fucking start sending in like fucking player shots, and we'd love to like get people's player shots like in your uniforms on these instead of these like fucking select your character models.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, send them in. It looks way better. You'll just genuinely enjoy it more. So it's pretty much for you. We like to do it, but you'll like it more.
Yeah,
so
definitely send those. Second team, we got Johnny Amori, Serp, Dirty Dangler, me, Grizz, Ready to Rumble. So yeah, Johnny, I mean, like we were saying, off to a really good start. Serp, looking like a Selkie fave this season. That WAR is crazy, 96. That's wild. It's not easy to be above 90. Dirty Dangler, playing really well. On Lottie, like really well. I guess I'm okay. Grizz been playing really well, and yeah, ready to rumble. Looking like the second best goalie in the league right now. So that's good for
So that's
Lulia
what.
because they don't got much other than Johnny and him.
So now I know what it's like to get gypped by the medium boys.
All right, so
no,
it wasn't just my decision. I didn't even want to put myself
no.
on there, but
So all good players, or at least players playing well, like Johnny. He's a little bit on the rise and roll.
yeah.
He's ready to take it.
So
But
so
Will,
Tree for defense, they look at a lot of other stats other than offense, like defensive
like
stats,
you mean like takeaways
passing
or
percentage.
interceptions
Yeah,
or
there's a
block
lot that
shots,
goes
run
into it,
first, or
and
top three in every single one? You mean those stats?
yeah, we'll bring it up in a bit, but yours weren't looking very great on the other half of the on the other end. All right. Game of the night. So we got two of these every week. Last week didn't go great. There was some technical difficulties. Nobody sent any clips to me. So yeah, those games happen. Who cares now? Innsbruck versus Grizzlies Wolfbergs. We
What
picked
day
this.
is that?
That is Tuesday, 9/10.
You
So,
fucking dickhead.
so we picked this because obviously there was that trade, and they're kind of in the same spot in the standings. So I think it'd be a pretty competitive game. Who do you guys think is going to take this game?
I know too much. I can't reply. There's reasons why I'd answer the way I'd answer. I know too much. I can't reply.
What does that mean? I mean, you're on the team. I get it, but you can have an opinion still.
Overall, Grizzly. I mean, I think they're doing way better. I think they just won a trade. I think they got better. I think they know how to score. We'll see how the defense and goaltending go, but they just got another good goal. I think they're shoring up weaknesses, and I don't know. We'll see on Miller that the other team did that. I think they just lost more stuff. So I think that it goes to Grizzly.
Okay, Hyper, what do you think?
I think Grizzly takes this. I mean, man, they got Tree Bark and they got Grider. Also, they got Rockstar, who's playing hot, 16 goals, leading the team, and he's going to probably be paired up with JC Pens.
Oh, yeah.
And it's gonna, I think they have what it takes. Their goaltending could be a little bit better, but with the trade for Millsy, I think. Wait, no, they traded away Millsy, but with Tree Bar coming in. Tree, are you playing this game?
He knows too much.
Oh, well, really depends if Tree plays or not, but I see Grizzly taking this.
Yeah, I would say it's unanimous. I would say though these teams aren't that far apart to where Innsbruck can just steal the game. They do have Banana. They got a couple other good guys, so I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. But I would say just looking at the on paper lineups, you would like to assume Grizzlies would win. All right, so the next team of the week we got Tampere and Farstad. We kind of put these guys because they were kind of neck and neck in the standings, power rankings, all that. And I'm immediately just gonna say I'd like to think that Farstad takes this. I just like their lineup depth compared to this other team here.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this. I feel like Farderstad is a well put together team, defensively for sure, and I think they take this for sure.
Yep. What do you think, Tree? All right, Tree doesn't have any thoughts.
All right, nice.
So yeah, all right, we'll skip that. So are you there, Tree?
Yes.
Who's gonna win that game?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think that it's in Farderston's favor. I just think they have a little bit more ceiling when it comes to their star players.
Yeah, no, I mean it'll be a good game, but I'd like to think Farstad wins as well. So, yeah, we shall see. I guess I quickly just kind of want to run through just kind of everyone's stats and how everyone's done. So we'll start just some of the notable forwards. Is there anyone that we haven't talked about? I'd say that that ISO guy on Dynamo, he's pretty damn good. I like him a lot. What do you think of him, Hyper?
ISO is probably one of the best left wings in this league for sure. I didn't really know him coming into the league. It's Serp's buddy. And when it's Serp's buddy, he's gonna definitely be good, right? So I was
Right.
happy with that. ISO's a great player,
fuck.
and yeah, I love working with him. I think he's probably the best left wing I've played with, besides Serp. So,
Definitely.
yeah, he's fun to play with, man. He's good. He's gonna make a name for himself by the end of the
Yep.
season.
I want to shout out Casey as Go. I think if he's able to play all his games, he's our best forward in my opinion. Because you can play him on wing, you can play him at center. He's good on both ends of the ice. Casey's Go. I think if we didn't have him, I think we'd be in trouble offensively.
Really?
So, yeah, I just wanted to shout him out. He's a legit player.
Okay, I haven't seen him for quite some time. I didn't know
No, he's
anymore.
good.
It's been like 2 games since I've seen him.
Is there anyone on this list that surprises you?
Why is B Cup's even up here?
Is he? Oh yeah, B Cup is up there.
Yeah.
That's my boy B Cup. 6 games, 17 points.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Teaching him some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's look at defenseman stats. So you got Hyper. We don't count Bro. And then Prestara. I mean, literally, you guys are only 8 points apart. Which
I played
like
forward for 1 game, so
True.
that would be 5 points eliminated. So he's 3 points behind me, but I have 1 less game played than him. Then
That's not
but,
true.
This goes both ways.
But I'd say in Prestara's last night, he scored a shit ton of points. So if they're clicking like that, that is fucking
he's scrub hunting.
Yeah,
I
will say this. I've only played against good lines. They even had me play 1 game just so I could face Red Bull on Tuesday.
Is anyone surprised about anyone to see? You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
Tree beats.
Yeah,
Look at Tree beats.
2.2.
What?
Offensive dynamo. Plus minus 0, which is about as good as you could ask for on your team.
See? Okay.
Passing percentage, 69. Terrible for a defenseman. Giveaways per game, 14. Terrible for a defenseman. What else? Interceptions are okay. They're mid. I think... No, that actually, pretty up there.
Holy shit, my giveaways per game is 15.83. Holy
but you
shit,
also
I am
score
so
4
overrated.
points a game, so it kind of makes up for it. What else we got here? I hate the way this shit is laid out here. It's garbage.
Yeah. Ouchies.
I've noticed for defensemen, if you're mid 70s and above, you're doing pretty damn good. So Hyper 76, Prestara 82. That's really good for a defenseman. Super.
What are you on specifically right now? I can't see it.
War.
Yeah, looking at WAR.
War's fixed.
Yep, and then Tree, your WAR is 62, one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That's really bad. So I mean, there's a lot that went into us kind of snubbing you, but it just seems and I don't know, maybe
it's only been
it's only been 1 week, so but it just seems
week 1,
maybe you did too much with the puck and forgot about defense.
I mean, it's easy to be able to be here and speak, right? And I can, and I guess that's an advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did struggle Wednesday for 2 reasons. A, I was just off. I wasn't dancing the way I could. I was just off, and then also I didn't adapt to the way Nana was kind of running the show. They didn't put the puck and send in areas that I find myself successful with, and I didn't adapt to them. Losing up high, and they found a lot of goals that way. So I could have just changed my game, and I didn't.
Yep. So just quickly, hits. You got Bishop, Reddy, Snipe Show, leading, and none of them have had a good season. So just kind of put that out there. What else we got? Interceptions, Vital Days, Prestara, The Lord Damned, Tree, Hyper. That's good. A lot of good defensemen up there. What else we got? Interceptions. I hate this. Or takeaways. I'm sorry. Takeaways. You got me, Habibi, Ozzy, Hyper, Prestara. So all the same guys for the most part. On the defensive end of the game. So we'll see how everything goes this season. I guess I'll give the goalies some love. I always forget about them.
I never thought about them again. I never look back.
Oh yeah, you say fuck the goalies
Yeah.
now. All right, I like to
Yeah, that's
sort
right.
these by games played for goalies. You can actually see who the starters are and how they're playing. God damn, why is this blown up so big compared to all the other ones? There we go. Okay, so save percentages. I wish I could sort by both, but whatever. Charisma in his 3 games been the best goalie in the league. Hude, very good. Who else? Silent J. I mean, he's 5th and played the most games, so he's just played so fucking good. Elsa as well, very very good. Those are like the notable standouts. There's not a lot of goalies over 800 compared to
No.
past seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen the 7s come right back. That's how it used to be. Goalie
Getting
walk.
above 800 used to be really rare. You know?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, like
It's
two
been
games
corrected.
ago, it was kind of 82 is like you were great.
Yeah. These goalie wars are fucked. Frankie, if you're watching, you got to reach out to the
Not
stat guy
fixed.
about this. I'm not even going to entertain these numbers.
No.
So yeah. Other than that, I don't think there's really too much for us to go over. Is there anything you guys wanted to say before we kind of wrap this thing up?
Nothing. I just want to say that this is presented by Cots R Us, and
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I have no
Is that
idea.
Cato's company? Somebody said it was Cato's company.
I think it's a. Never mind. I ain't no snitch. Fuck. I see nothing.
All right. Cool. Well, until next week's pod, can't wait. Peace out, y'all.